Hello and welcome. My name is Kent Rohr. I'm the sales engineer for Tech. And today in this video, we're covering the maxAI 430 PC tool on the Settings Custom Parameters section. First off, we want to check the version of what we're working with today. Going to the top left menu. Build version 2.3.1.2. Cluster is connected. It's an IV. As you can see, it's green light above. Let's go into the Custom Parameters section, something you want to set up first before you go into the actual Setup tab. So first, the default section will be the gauges, as you see here. You select the parameter to change by double-clicking on the parameter cell. So I double-click here, and I can make changes. The original parameter can then be deleted. You can put in a new parameter by filling in this, and the new designation will be limited to 10 characters. Once all the parameters are set to whatever configuration settings that you would like, you would select OK to set the new parameters, or if you wish to cancel, then you can hit just the close button. So here's the OK, and here's the close button. The gauge source information can also be updated by dragging the preferred SPN and PGN data from the SPN and PGN panel to the gauge source position. So you can drag and drop as well. To replace a selection of the gauge sources panel with this kind of selection from the SPNs and PGNs panel, you can use the buttons by first selecting the gauge number to replace, and then select the desired row that you want to replace. So what that means is I can select this first number here, and I can go down to this bottom, the SPN and PGN information, scroll through, select what I want here, and I would hit replace. That would then replace that number 1 with this PGN information. And then you can do more edits here above as you wish. Now going to a custom PGN, this can be set up by scrolling all the way down to the bottom, where you see the blank row available. Each cell in this row must be filled out in order for the custom PGN to be saved. Remember, custom PGNs must be greater than 65280. If the number is lower than this that's selected, then a notification will then pop up and the PGN will be changed to this number. And when all the selections are made, you then can hit the replace button. It'll then throw it into above, whatever you have selected above for it to be replaced. Or you can revert back to the default settings by hitting the default settings here. And once all your parameters are changed to whatever desired settings that you need, you select the update button here, and then your settings will be saved. You'll be asked to confirm that you wish to save those settings. In a little pop-up, you'll say yes to apply the changes, or no if you want to continue editing without removing all the existing changes. Now let's go into the warning lights section. As you can see, this pop-up saying that you have not made changes pending to this. So do you want to switch to the sources changes, or do you want them to be lost? So I'm going to go ahead and discard my changes, switch over to LED warning lights. So on the models with the LED section of the warning lights, which you'll see in this picture here, there's warning lights along the outside of this bezel. That will be the I and the IV version. The LED warning lights can also be configured in this spot here that I selected. The warning lights can then be set with the same kind of editing capabilities that we talked about for the gauges section. So you can select whichever warning light that you need. You can scroll down here and replace it, or you can edit above the warning light that you want to edit. And then you, of course, then hit update or go back to default if you don't want to have those updates that you've made. Now we're going to jump over to the warning lights LCD section. These are the warning lights that are actually on an LCD page UI that's set in the setup menu. There's one page that can have 21 warning lights. So these are customizable by double-clicking on the image. So if I scroll over, you have images here that can be customized by double-clicking on it. Windows Explorer comes up for you to select the image that you want it to be replaced at. Now you can put any kind of JPEG format, JPG or JPEG. You can have a PNG, a GIF, a TIFF, a NEF, or a BMP format, all acceptable, but it must be 50 by 50 pixels resolution. Now for changing the true colors here, that are supported for the transparent to black pixels mix. So basically, whenever you have a icon here and you want it to then change to a different color, I'll select this first one, red. See how it's changing different colors? Whenever you upload an image, you'd either have a transparent black background here or a black background. And then whenever you have an on color, these are the colors that will then replace that transparent or black in your image. Just make sure whenever you upload an image, you have a black or transparent background for those images. You can also edit, just like we talked about with the gauges and the warning LEDs, as far as double clicking, making any changes here that you like, or to the bottom and then replacing above. Last part is the miscellaneous section. I'm going to discard what I've been doing here for demo purposes. So on models with the advanced features like the maxAI 430V video and Bluetooth, or the IV video, Bluetooth, and icons around the bezel, the camera video activation for the CAN G1839 can be configured here. This is done by selecting the miscellaneous from this tab in the center of the page. And then the editing capabilities are the same for all the other gauges, but the amount of the G1839 standard message will be limited to the PGN 61445, SPN 523, or PGN 61445, SPN 524, or PGN 256, SPN 252, correction, 525, SPN 525, and then PGN 65132, SPN 1619. And any proprietary PGN can also be selected. Just make note that the configuration for the source address to this is the same appropriate value. You can then edit as you do below for all the other options that we talked about. You can then throw it up and replace above, or you can edit above as needed. Always make sure that you update, and then you hit OK to then save all your settings. And that covers a cluster custom parameter section, so you can then jump into your setup and design your whole GUI section, your inputs, gauge sources, warning lights, output, and then actually flash your configuration, which we'll cover in other videos. Thank you for joining.